Hi, hope you guys are doing well. So after our overview and looking at navigation, this next part we'll be looking at the 3D cursor. So the first things first, if you want to know my shortcut keys, they're over here, this mouse button over here. As you can see, if I press any other key, it is also displayed. Because from now on you will be learning about shortcuts. So first thing I'll do is hide this cube. We can do that by pressing this hide button. Okay, this eyeball button. So what is our 3D cursor? As you can see, this thing over here, this checkered red and white circle is our 3D cursor, and wherever it is, our new object, light, or camera will be appearing. So that's the basic gist of it, and you obviously it has its uses too. So what if I want to move this to somewhere else? If I just go ahead and add Shift A and let's just say add an icosphere. As you can see, it appear right over here. So now I'll just delete this by pressing my delete key, and if I go shift and right mouse button to anywhere around over here, that is where my 3D cursor will appear next. So I'll do this, and now my 3D cursor is over here. But there's one thing worth noting. If I go Control Z, as you know, Control Z is the undo key for globally for PC. It is also for Blender. But if I do Control Z, my icosphere reappears, but my 3D cursor stays where it is. So basically the 3D cursor is immune to the control Z feature. So now if I add something else, like let's just say a torus, so as you can see it appeared where the 3D cursor was. But what if I want to bring my 3D cursor back to over here? Now this place is our world origin, where the green and red light of our x and y axis are meeting. That's our world origin. To do that, the next shortcut you're going to be using is Shift S. Okay, so once you press Shift S, wherever your mouse is, this menu will appear, and as you can see, you can either move your mouse to where the option you want to select, or you can press the corresponding key, like for example cursor to active or active to key or something like that. You can actually press 2, 3, 1, 4 to get a different one. So what we want to do is bring our cursor back to our world origin. So what we're going to do is, after pressing Shift S and getting this menu cursor to world origin, and now our cursor is back. Now the other uses of this can be something like the 3D cursor position changing can be, if we go to edit mode, you can go to edit mode by over here. Okay, or you can tab in and out. Okay, the tab key to in and out to go into and out of edit mode. So what if I want to add something that is at this vertice specifically? To do that, again, I will have, if I manually add something, Shift A and UV sphere, and then I can just Z and wireframe. Okay, that's how I'm doing this, Z and wireframe, to go into wireframe mode, and then I'll have to manually move it and start it eyeballing it. That would be difficult. Now in modeling, this feature of the 3D cursor is actually very important. You can go ahead and go and Shift S, okay, and then cursor to selected, and now my 3D cursor is at where the vertices, and then I can go ahead and Shift A and add in, let's just say, a cylinder or whatever. We are also learning about primitives in this video, I guess. So the central point is obviously still there, and if I tab out, you can see that it still says just cube. Okay, it doesn't say cylinder separately, but if I Shift A and then add in a cylinder separately, as you can see now, and if object mode I do that, it's considered a separate object. But if I go into edit mode, and then if I add something, it's still a part of the original object. You can obviously separate them, but we'll just look into that later on. So I'll just delete this, and you can also, let's just go back into edit mode. After selecting it, you can go to edit mode if you have something selected. Okay, so now I'll just delete this, and you can go ahead and select by left click and dragging your mouse to select all these vertices. Now what if I want, and now if I go into Shift S and you go into cursor to selected, the cursor actually takes an average. Basically the average midpoint of all these 4 vertices is the central point, so it added it over here. So now when I go Shift A and I'll just add I guess a cone, so it added it in the central point of it. So there are other options if you're going to Shift S, like if I again change the 3D cursor position by Shift and right clicking over here, now my 3D cursor is over here, and I select this object and go into Shift S and go to not cursor to active, I actually want to go to I want to go to selection to cursor. So now my object is wherever is my 3D cursor. This can also happen vice versa. Like if I go Shift S and cursor to world origin again, and then I have select this object. Now this object is selected. It's highlighted. The yellow outline. The yellow outline. Now this yellow outline actually shows that our current selected object is our cube, right? So the next option is Shift S, and now cursor to selected. So now our 3D cursor is back to where our object was. The main use it. Let me just Shift S and cursor to origin. Now the main use I think is for 3D cursor is during modeling. Okay, so I'll just click this. Like no, you don't need to copy this part. I'm just showing you. Let's just say I wanted to add some other object connected to it. Okay, so I'll just delete. You don't need to follow this. I'm just giving you an example. This is where the most common example or the most basic example of 3D cursor uses. If I go Shift S and then cursor to selected, now it's over here. And then if I add any object like circle, and then I'll just rotate it like this. So now if I want to combine these two, they are perfectly aligned. As you can see, they are perfectly aligned. This is the most for combining them. Obviously I can just obviously I still have to do a little bit more work, but for now this is the most basic and easy application during modeling for 3D cursor that you can use, and you will most likely be using it because eyeballing is really difficult. So I hope you guys learned something today. Please subscribe and like, and I'll see you in the next video. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like, comment and subscribe to my channel and watch another one of my videos, as that's how the YouTube algorithm works. It's a small channel and it won't cost you anything. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.